Out of league play has come and gone, and it's time to start the CCL slate here in 2026 for the defending North champions Sonoma Stompers and its two perennial powerhouses in the California Collegiate League, the Blues and the Stompers. Both these teams have found themselves in the playoffs the last 2 seasons, and they've been very even in the regular season contest. They split 2 here at Arnold and then split 2 down on the Central Coast last season. The first of the CCL matchups is tonight. Welcome into the Sonoma Stompers pregame show. I'm Kieran Costa alongside Nate Martin, getting you set for some Tuesday evening action from Sonoma. And Nate, the Stompers out of league play 3-0, 3 solid games top to bottom. What stood out in what were 3 wins and what should have been 3 wins at the end of the day?
Yeah, I think it kind of went as we expected. The pitching looked good. We got to see a lot of different guys because of, manager Zach Pace opting for kind of a pitch by committee, maximum 1 or 2 innings per guy. And then in terms of a lineup, it might have been a little bit underwhelming for the first 2 games. Yeah, 7 runs against the Red Tails is all right, but you'd expect a little bit more against non-league opposition. But then 14 runs against Berkovich on Saturday night, and that's because they got a few more guys in. You have 7 of the 9 guys in the lineup tonight are Division I baseball players. And that's going to translate. I think if it's a very similar lineup to Saturday, that's good things for Sonoma.
Yeah, but the real thing is that jump there from out of league to league play, and it's not like you're getting a gimme to start the CCL slate. The Blues, one of the best teams in the North. What's that jump going to be like for the Stompers hitters?
Well, it's going to be tough considering the guy that they're facing is 6'8" and had a 3.0 ERA last year in summer ball pitching. This past season at West Valley, 5.05 ERA, 13 starts though, and struck out 58 batters. Really, really impressive stuff. Originally a D1 guy at Cal Poly. This is Quincy Winkler, a 6'8" righty. Going to be a really unique extension.
Yeah, coming off the Arnold Field mound, which is already a very steep slope, that 6'8" build is going to make things very tough on the Stompers hitters. We'll see how they do. And then pitching-wise, we've already seen Sean McBroom once. That was an out-of-league game, 2 innings that he breezed through on opening night. What made him so effective there, and what's going to make him so effective in this jump to league action?
Well, just, working. He's kind of an unpredictable guy. You don't even know what he's throwing most of the time. He says, I got a 4-seam, a 2-seam, a couple of off-speeds, but, it's just so unpredictable watching him pitch, and he's really, really good when he's on. 3 strikeouts in 2 innings on opening day. Somehow he said he hasn't pitched in San Luis Obispo yet, hasn't pitched against the Blues, so his first time facing a lineup with a lot of tough batters.
Yeah, and a lot of returners. Brendan Comerford we saw last year, Mason Ashlock, Kosei Suzuki, Diego Murillo, Jake Hicksonball, all among the returners for the Blues. It's a lineup that's made the playoffs back-to-back years. A lot of those guys have been there for multiple years. The depth of experience on the Blues side is also something to look out for.
Yeah, but it's also, Sonoma has that to match as well. And, you mentioned that these teams split the series on the road and at home, respectively, and a lot of the games are decided by 1 runs. So it's going to be a really exciting game, close, back and forth, unpredictable, and that only means good things for you and I, Kieran.
Yeah, 3 of the 4 meetings last year were decided by just 1 run. The one outlier was a 7-3 Blues victory here at Arnold Field. What have you seen from the Stompers team that makes you believe they'll be good in one-run contests, and what do those games usually come down to at this level?
It just comes down to being resilient. I think Sonoma, a lot of the times when they faced adversity in the first weekend of baseball, fought through it. They gave up 3 runs in the 8th inning on opening night and then put up 3 innings of their own to make things go from a 1-run game to a 4-run game. It's stuff like that that really makes me feel good about tonight where, if you get into that position where, San Luis Obispo puts up some runs on the scoreboard, you can trust Sonoma to come back and put runs on their own because that's what they've done so far for the first 3 games. In terms of pitching, even when you get in a hole, you get a mound visit or you bring in a new arm, and every single time they've shut things down afterwards. So I think Sonoma's been really resilient for the first 3 games. That's going to be a trait that shows off today and tomorrow against SLO.
Yeah, and now let's get into the nitty-gritty of this one. Who jumps out of the Stompers lineup? You've seen them all for just about 3 games now.
It's hard not to say Bryson Ayala. His last game got his first hit as a Stomper, and then he went 3 for 4 with a home run, 4 RBIs, a stolen base, made some really nice plays on the defense. He's always one of those first one ins, last one out type of guys. 6'5". How could you not be excited about what Ayala can do for you this summer?
Yeah, the big home run to wrap up out-of-league play should have him rolling here into league action. The Sonoma Stompers CCL North title back-to-back tour starts tonight against the SLO Blues. We'll be back with lineups and first pitch after this. The 2025 Stompers season saw the club's first trip to the CCL Championship Series, but ended in heartbreak to the hands of the Conejo Oaks. And now it's time for the 2026 Road to Redemption to get underway for Sonoma. Welcome into Sonoma, California. I'm Kieran Costa, joined alongside Nate Martin for the first CCL matchup of 2026. Sonoma swept the out-of-league slate 3-0, and now for the first time since last August, it's a game that counts in the standings. Sonoma and SLO on a Tuesday evening here up north. The Stompers went 3-0 in out-of-league play and now open up the league campaign against a SLO team that's 1-1. They split against the Santa Maria Indians. That's an affiliate team this year, a new squad to the CCL, and the Stompers have their work cut out for them against a Blues team that made the playoffs last year, lost in the CCL wild card game. And the Blues will face Sean McBroom, a 5'9", 175-pound righty from Antioch, California. He makes his way here to Sonoma after a stop at St. Mary's, Los Medanos College, and last year at CS San Marcos, where he didn't make a start. He made one out-of-league appearance for Sonoma, went 2 innings, did not allow a hit, a walk. He did strike out 3, and he'll face a Blues lineup that will give you after the first pitch. All you need to know is that leading off is the center fielder Dominic Nahar, a veteran of the CCL, now on his 3rd team in as many years. Nahar, a right-handed hitter, McBroom, a right-handed pitcher, working from the windup. Sean's ready, Dominic's ready, and the first pitch is a called strike 1 at 6:11. It's a beautiful 73 degrees here in Sonoma. McBroom's 0-1 is hit foul and out of play, 0-2. Let's set the defense behind Sean McBroom. Nick Sebastiani, Chase Taylor, Trent Keys, that goes left to right. Tino Vassell, Bryson Ayala, Yuri Perro, and Carlson's the right side of the infield. And this one's flared into very shallow left. Out goes Ayala, and he makes the catch. The leadoff man's a retired P6, and that brings up C.J. Moran. He'll be followed by the third baseman, Brendan Comerford. The catcher, Miles Mader, hits 4th. The DH, Mason Ashlock, followed by the right fielder, Kosei Suzuki. And then the bottom third is the shortstop, Diego Maria, the left fielder, Jake Hicksonbaugh, and the second baseman, Isaiah Munoz. The first lefty of the lineup lines it back up the middle for a base hit. Hard hit ball for Moran, his 3rd knock of the year.
First pitch swinging, aggression early from SLO, and that's how you want to start after maybe an underwhelming start to the season. 1-1 so far to an affiliate. Definitely not the ideal start for SLO.
Brendan Comerford, the next man to hit, a right-handed hitter. Comerford 5 for 22. That counts league and non-league games to open the SLO campaign. They're 4-3. McBroom delivers low. It's 1-0. 81. Ball in the dirt. Comerford awaits the 0-1, and he hits a pop-up right side. Carlson heading over in foul ground, and it's off the glove. Would have been a Willie Mays-esque catch from the Stomper first baseman, just a little bit out of the reach. And Comerford gets a new lease on life that counts 1-1.
Carlson's kind of used to making those awkward grabs in foul territory, primarily a catcher at Georgia State. But we haven't really seen him much behind the dish. He's mainly been working at first or DH this summer so far with Sonoma.
Yeah, Stompers with 4 catchers on the roster. Zach Pace wants to start a new one every single game and get that 4 backstop rotation going. McBroom checks on first.
And that makes sense because catcher is just such a physically demanding position. I mean, every single game so far, we've seen a switch midway through the game at that position behind the dish.
1-1. That one's lined into left field. Cutting over is Sebastiani. He plays it on a hop. A couple hard-hit singles here in the first off of McBroom. And Sean, the last couple of years here in Sonoma, does not give up a lot of hard contact. That's the second consecutive hitter with a single over 100 miles an hour off the bat.
I mean, we have to remember with McBroom, last week's opening day was his very first time pitching in a game in 2026. He had a back injury last fall, and he's had to come back, and he's facing a pretty tough lineup and SLO filled with D1 guys.
Yeah, that brings up another one of those D1 guys, Miles Mader, right-handed hitter from Indiana. Takes a breaking ball that misses up above the zone at 70 miles an hour. That's the hook from McBroom. He works it in with a changeup and a couple different types of fastball. Righty on righty, McBroom and Mader. A little bit of trouble for the Stomper starter in the first. This one's bounced to third. Vassell's going to step on third. His long throw across the diamond is in time. The Stompers infield turns the double play, and the inning is over. For San Luis Obispo, it's no runs on 2 hits and 1 left. Nothing across for the Blues with the Stompers coming up in the bottom half. Sean McBroom induced a nice double play. Tino Vassell at third base took it to the bag and threw across to roll up the double play on Miles Mader. And now it's Quincy Winkler's turn to take the mound. He stands 6'8" and weighs in at 225 out of Templeton, California. A D1 bounce back guy that didn't see action at Cal Poly in 2025. And then at West Valley College up here, he had 16 appearances, 15 of those starts. He pitched to a 5.05 earned run average over 57 innings, 58 strikeouts to 38 walks. And here's the lineup he'll face as announced by Stompers manager Zach Pace. The right fielder Trent Keys leads off, followed by the third baseman Tino Vassell and the left fielder Nick Sebastiani. Hunter Carlson, the first baseman, cleans it up. Then the DH Angel Garcia. The shortstop Bryson Ayala's in the 6th hole. 7, 8, 9, the second baseman Misael Uripero, the center fielder Chase Taylor, and the catcher Gage McCown.
Karen, it's nearly a foot difference on the mound between the Stomper starter and the Blues starter. That is insane to think about. I'm very curious to see how the Stompers hitters will do against them, because I think the tallest pitcher they've probably faced so far this season, 6'4", maybe 6'5". 3 inches, especially on this steep of a mound, is a big difference.
Trent Keys will lead it off, a lefty, followed by Tino Vassell and Nick Sebastiani here in the first. Keys awaits and takes outside, says the home plate umpire Robert McGee. He's helped by Dean Poteet on the right side and Cam Jones on the left.
Winkler so far this season, 4 innings pitched, 2 appearances, 1 start.
1-0 to Keys is high 2-0, and this is what Trent does. He's walked 5 times and been hit by a pitch in the first 3 games of out-of-league play. He got on base at over a 400 clip for Sonoma last year, despite hitting below the Mendoza line. 2-0 coming. Swing and a miss.
And Winkler has struggled a bit to start the year. Obviously, it's literally 7.0 ERA, but he gets strikeouts, 7 Ks through 4 innings.
Yeah, sample size very small on pitchers, especially this early in the season. But pitching at Sinsheimer, that's where baseballs go to die in the outfield. 2-1 pitch. Keys takes outside, and now it's 3 balls and a strike. Hitters count to the Stomper leadoff man.
And somehow no SLO Blues player is at a home run this season so far.
Yeah, not surprising at all. Very hard to hit the ball out of the ballpark down there. 3-1 coming to Keys. He takes a called strike. 90 miles an hour over the outside edge. Keys had flipped the bat back towards the dugout. He was ready to take first base. Something that he did quite a lot last season. 21 walks and 19 hit by pitches for Trent. Both of those led the league. Here he awaits a payoff pitch. The righty comes home and Keys fouls it back to the screen. I was talking to Stompers hitting coach, Paul Madarena, before the game today, and he said, I asked him if is there anything different you've seen from Keys this year, and he said, yeah, I think he's even better at working counts. When he's ahead 2-0, he's there, he's ready to take a strike, make the at-bat last a little bit longer, and eventually get his. Winkler shakes off Mater twice. Now they're on the same page, and the payoffs hit hard to short. Short hopped by Murillo. His throw is low, and it is not dug out by Moran. Keys is aboard on the E6. And Trent Keys just gets on base any way possible.
Maria's going to want that one back. That was a pretty routine play to make over at short, and Murillo just bobbled it a little bit. One hopper over to first, and Moran just couldn't haul it in. That's one you can't have in CCL play.
Third baseman Comerford in on the grass, guarding against the bunt from Vassell. A long set. Vassell does square to bunt, pulls it back. The pitch is a called strike, a check on Keys, and he's back. A very nice back pick by Mater. We'll set the defense. It's Jake Hicksonbaugh on left, Dominic Nahar in center, Kosei Suzuki in right. Brendan Comerford and Diego Murillo's on the left side of the infield. Munoz and Moran on the right. Nice back pick there by Mater, the catcher. Keys barely back. Vassell squares to bunt again and gets it down back to the pitcher. Winkler is going to underhand to first in time. Perfectly executed bunt by Tino Vassell. In scoring position is Trent Keys with just one out.
Small ball. That's how Zach Pace likes to play. You got a runner in scoring position for 3, 4, and potentially 5, and these are guys that like to drive in runs.
And that brings up the ever-consistent Nick Sebastiani, gunning for his 3rd consecutive All-CCL North selection. Right-handed hitter, slightly open stance. First pitch to him is low, 1-0. And because we don't talk about it enough, his last league at-bat at Arnold Field was a walk-off home run to send the Stompers to the CCL Championship Series and won the North. He's ahead in the count 1-0. Winkler delivers. Sebastiani takes outside. That's a breaking ball from the righty. And early on here, Robert McGee's zone is he's giving the outside corner to the lefties. He didn't give it there with the righty Sebastiani in the box. A long hold by Winkler. Delivers. Sebastiani takes a called strike at the knees, 91 miles an hour. Definitely a whole lot harder than what we were seeing from the California Red Tails and Berkovich Honors over the weekend. Keys reached on an error. Vassell bunted him to second base. The 2-1 to Sebastiani. That one kicks away from the catcher Mater, and to third base goes Trent Keys. Stolen base for Trent, his first in league play on his first attempt, and now that runs 90 feet away, and the catcher Mater's job is 500 times harder, because if anything gets past him, there's so much room to the backstop.
That's why you see the infield now playing in on this 3-1 pitch.
3-1 to Sebastiani is taken low outside for ball 4. Runners at the corners. For the cleanup man, Hunter Carlson, not a guy you want to see with runners on base. Carlson, a lefty masher to a T. The sophomore hit .289 with 10 doubles and 6 home runs for Georgia State last year, and he delivered his first long ball in Sonoma on Sunday against Berkovich, a long home run that he pulled down the right field line. First pitch to Hunter is inside and low, 1-0.
But what I respect about Carlson as well is he's not afraid to work a count, because with Georgia State this past spring, a 389 OBP, that's pretty solid for a power bat.
Carlson 1 for 8 with a homer, a walk, and a hit by pitch in out-of-league action. He just has to put the ball in the air here. The pitch is a called strike. That's a very nice pitch. That dots the outside edge at the knees at 91 miles an hour. Not that 91's not something you're seeing in the Sun Belt. I mean, they've got guys still kicking as NCAA Super Regionals get underway. 1-1 pitch with 1 out. Carlson takes inside and low.
I mean, the rest of the guys in this Stompers lineup, 4 through 9, are all Division I players.
Sebastiani from first, Keys from third. Infield plays for 2. The pitch to Carlson is bounced to the right side. Ranging over is Munoz. It's through into right. It's a base hit and an RBI for Hunter Carlson. The Stomps jump all over the Blues in the first. It's 1-0. Error, bunt, walk, single. That's how Sonoma gets the job done. And now it's time for the designated hitter tonight, Angel Garcia, to get his first crack at things.
And that's small ball again, an infield single that just got got past the second baseman, Munoz. Couple plays here that the Blues will want to have back.
2 on, 1 out. Garcia takes a called strike. It seems like the only place he can really dot the zone where he wants it is down and away. When they call for it outside, he's missing it too far off the corner. And when they call for it up, he sort of has no idea where the ball is going. But just like McBroom was in the top of this inning, he's a pitch away from getting out of it. First and second, 1 out. Garcia takes low.
And it's no wonder he wants to keep working that outside corner low in the zone. That's kind of what's been working for him, as you said. And it's a tough spot to get to as a batter.
.305 average, .422 on base for Garcia, playing for Coppin State. 1-1. Outside, that's through the glove of the catcher, Mater, and 90 feet for both the runners. Pass ball will be charged to the backstop of the Blues.
I mean, it's still early in the season, right, Kieran? This is the first CCL game for Sonoma, third for the Blues. But those are mistakes that, you can't be having in games like this when these two teams are going to be fighting and come July for a CCL North title.
Corners in, middle play, even with the bag. 2-1 to Garcia. Low outside, 3-1. First base open, but the ever-dangerous Bryson Ayala waits on deck. This is a big pitch early in this game. Hitters count to a guy that proved he can do it for the Golden Eagles this spring. 3-1 pitch. Garcia takes a called strike. 3-1.
You got to be swinging at that, Karen.
It's completely disagree.
It's a good location, yes, but that's the only thing. The low and away is the only location that's been working for this guy so far.
On 3-1, you're hunting a cookie. That was a 91 mile per hour at the knees away. 3-2 pitch. Garcia strikes out swinging. Late on a fastball, and that's the second out of the inning. First K for Winkler. And now Ayala comes up trying to drive home these runs now with 2 outs. Zach Pace and Coach Mayo's whole approach to offense, especially in this league, early in the campaign, is make the pitcher come to you. Let's drive up the pitch count here in the first inning. 3-1 pitch, I think it really has to be theirs if they're going to attack. Pitch to Ayala. Called strike. 0-1.
Shortstop number 51, Bryson Ayala.
Ayala, freshman at Tulane this spring, coming off a broken finger, which really limited his playing time the second half of the year. 0-1, outside 1-1. Nice job by Mater to corral that pitch. Anything to the backstop. Nick Sebastiani's ready to go from third base.
I mean, Mater's been tested a ton so far. If you can get out of this inning, if you're slow, with only one run allowed, that's a win.
1-1 pitch. Ayala swings and misses, late on 90. That's a challenge fastball from Quincy Winkler. Runners lead from second and third. Sonoma leads at 1-0, trying to add on here in the first. 1-2 to Bryson. Is hit the other way, down the line, foul.
I like that from Bryson a lot. You know, he's really been attacking the outer half of the plate a lot so far. And the Stompers have had a lot of success this season from hitting it into opposite field. It's a lot easier to hit it into opposite field when the pitch is on the outer half of the plate. I really like that from the shortstop.
Ayala drove in 4 runs in 3 games. Well, 2 games worth of innings.
All 4 came on Saturday.
1-2 pitch. Outside 2-2. Misael Uripero waits on deck if Ayala can continue this inning. Misael, all-horizon freshman team for the Penguins of Youngstown State. Infield and outfield straight away for the 6'5" right-handed hitter. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and it's low outside. Mater saved a run. That's a changeup in the far batter's box. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Sebastiani leads from third. Carlson leads from second. Winkler's payoff to Ayala is hit straight up in the air. Shallow right field. Munoz ranges out, and he makes the two-handed catch. The inning is over. For the Stompers, 1 run on 1 hit and 2 left. We head to the second. Sonoma leads slow 1-0. Ashlock, Suzuki, and Maria will be the 3 to hit against McBroom. And the first pitch is a fastball, 85 miles an hour for a called strike 1. McBroom gave up a couple of singles in the first inning, but induced a 5-3 double play. 0-1. That one's hit hard towards second, right into the glove of Yuri Pero, 1 down. Hard hit baseball, but it found a glove. And that's the first out of the inning. That brings up Kosei Suzuki. Played last season at LaSalle University. And he swings first pitch and hits it foul.
one of many Blues returners. Played 28 games for them last summer, 7 doubles, 3 triples. Originally from Japan.
And he takes a called strike. He's behind 0-2. He was 0 for 3 in 2 games at Arnold Field last season. Looking to get on base for the first time here in Sonoma County. 0-2 pitch. Outside and low. That's the breaking ball from McBroom. Sort of a slurve from the righty. From the windup, rocks and fires. Suzuki strikes out swinging. Fooled him badly. He went back to that exact same slurve in the far batter's box. Suzuki started, thought better of it, but it was far too late. First strikeout of the campaign for McBroom. It comes via the swinging variety. It's a true sword from Sean McBroom. Now it's Diego Murillo's turn. Graduated from Cal Poly Pomona. Takes high. Each CCL roster allowed to have 1 graduated player. Murillo hopes to spend 1 or 2 weeks with the Blues before getting an indie ball spot. 1-0. Clips him in the elbow, and he's aboard. He had walked 6 times this season already, so getting aboard via the free pass, something Murillo does well. He's on with 2 away.
I mean, Murillo had a .438 on-base percentage last year with the Blues. Kind of similar type of vibe to Trent Keys.
Here comes another guy that was hitless at Arnold Field, Jake Hicksonbaugh. Year 2 with the Blues for him as well. And he takes outside 1-0. Hicksonbaugh, Monterey Peninsula College to Colorado State Pueblo. He had .319 in 45 games out in Colorado. And he takes outside the counts 2-0. McBroom trying to leave a base runner now in the 2nd consecutive inning. On the way to the lefty. Hicksonbaugh called strike, outside edge, and we've continued to see Robert McGee extended a ball and a half off the corner to these left-handed hitters. 2-1 coming from McBroom. Runner goes. The throw is in time to get him. Gage McCown, a 2-way pitcher and catcher, shows off the cannon and guns down Diego Murillo. Sean McBroom faces the minimum in the 2nd. 1.5 in the books. The Stomps lead at 1-0. Misael Yuripero leads off. He'll be followed by Chase Taylor and Gage McCown. And if anybody gets on, it's back to the top in Trent Keys. Europero, left-handed hitter. 247 average, a 340 on base. Started just about every game as a true freshman at Youngstown State. And he takes a fastball at 88 that misses inside, according to Robert McGee. Europero from Caracas, Venezuela, went to high school in Florida. 1-0. Is hit hard to center field, right at Nahar, who jogs in to make the catch chest high. So a hard hit baseball by Europero, but there's one away.
Now batting, center fielder number 1, Chase Taylor.
Now it's Chase Taylor's turn, who spent last season out in Yukon. Open stance for the lefty, and he checks his swing. It's foul back to the screen. Chase Concord High School to Los Medanos. He was great at LMC, got himself up to the D1 level. Got to experience his first ever winter last year in Stores. Let me tell you, it wasn't a kind one. 0-1 pitch. High and tight, 1-1.
At least he has, like, you know, good basketball to watch indoors during that time of year.
Good at everything to watch at UConn.
Football's certainly up and coming.
1-1 pitch on the way to Taylor. Inside. That's a good spot to a lefty. Taylor right on top of the plate. That one missed just in off the corner.
And that's kind of that area, at least to righties, is where the slow pitcher has been finding the zone.
2-1. Taylor hits it high in the air to left center. Cutting over his Suzuki, he calls off the left fielder Nahar and makes the catch.
Now batting,
Now it's the 9 spot in the order and Gage McCown. Something to note here with Quincy Winkler. He's a tick to 2 ticks down from the first inning. Maybe he was just overamped to start the game, but the command has been a lot better here in inning number 2, and he's dropped from 91-92 to 88-89. McCown checks his swing. The appeal to Dean Poteet. They say he did not make a hand signal, so I'm going to assume no swing, 1-0. I think McCown thought he went. He hung his head after the check swing, but Dean Poteet will say he's ahead in the count, 1-0. And he takes high. That's the same spot as the last pitch, but he learned his lesson, didn't even check it. It's 2-0.
I mean, we were talking a lot about command. I think the important thing is if you're going to bring down you'd rather have your command and find the zone than be up a couple ticks in the velo.
2-0. McCown fouls it back. Gage, as you might have picked up in the last inning, he's a two-way guy. He closed some games at Cal State University Northridge, and he's going to catch about once every 4 to 5 days for Sonoma. He's faced 3 hitters in out-of-league play. He struck all of them out.
Came
and
in
he picked up a caught stealing.
9th.
2-1 pitch. Foul back to the screen.
And not only was it 3 strikeouts in an inning, it was the 9th inning where it was a 2-run game and they had bases loaded. So clutch pitcher.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McCown looking to keep this inning alive for Trent Keys. Winkler delivers. It's a called strike for 3. McCown knew it, and the inning is over. Stompers go 1-2-3 in the second. Sonoma leading SLO 1-0. You're watching Stompers Baseball on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. 8, 9, and 1. Jake Hicksonbaugh, Isaiah Munoz, and Dominic Nahar here in inning number 3. The action behind Nick Broom has started. It's a righty, Vince Van Holy up and loosening. And McBroom misses outside and low. First pitch changeup from McBroom. To the left-handed hitting Hicksonbaugh, who takes a called strike. Another guy that played in the series up here last year. The Blues make one trip to Arnold, and the Stompers make one trip to Sinsheimer. 1-1. Is bounced back up the middle, ranging over Zeropero. Gloves, and he can't get it out of it. It's going to be an E4 on Misael. The leadoff runner's aboard. It's a very hard infield to play, especially it's a really heavy lip from the grass to the dirt. He charged in, made a nice play, and then just couldn't get it out of his glove.
Yeah, and it's only his second day playing on this end field. He's got to adjust to that. It's an advantage more so to the home team, the Stompers, than it would be to teams coming in on the road.
So there's been a blue on in every inning. And McBroom checks on that runner, Hicksonbaugh, who's back with a dive. Ayala and Uripero shade up the middle for 2. McBroom delivers. Popped up. First base side, very shallow right. It's a long run for Keys, and it drops in foul ground. Carlson, the first baseman, didn't even give that ball a look. I don't think anyone had a play. It'll go as strike number 1. Munoz from Cal State LA, 5 for 11 over the first 7 games for SLO. Hicksonbaugh short lead off first. McBroom from the stretch stares in and delivers. There's that slider. I think it's a true slurve from McBroom.
And
I mean, the line between a slider and a curveball is so blurred in today's baseball anyway.
That's why they invented a whole new pitch called the slurve, as you called it.
Oh, it was there. They just invented a new name. 1-1, swing and a miss. McCown has a second chance at throwing out a runner. He did not get him this time. An emphatic call from Cam Jones, the umpire there. Made that call the second the hand touched the base.
That was a really nice throw, though, by McCown. I've been impressed with him behind the dish. He's been praised more for his defense as a catcher.
Stolen base for Hicksonbaugh. He's in scoring position with nobody out. 1-2 on the way. Struck him out swinging. Goes to the breaking ball, and he got him. His second strikeout. Back to the top now, and Dominic Nahar.
It's to the top of the order that, the top 3 guys, Nahar, Moran, and Comfort, all got pretty hard contact on McBroom first time through.
That was Hicksonbaugh's team-leading 6th stolen base. Tying run out at second, 1 out in the third. The pitch to Nahar is lined toward short. Ayala reaches up and makes the catch. And that's why you have a 6'5" shortstop. A little broken bat soft liner. Ayala throws his glove up in the air to make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out on Nahar, just what the doctor ordered.
First baseman, number 28, CJ Moran.
Now it's the USD Torero, CJ Moran's second trip to the plate. The lefty singled on a hard line drive into left. He hits this one to left too. Sebastiani started in, now he's going back, and he makes the running catch. Nice play by Nick Sebastiani, his first start in left this season. McBroom threw 3 scoreless innings. Stompers coming up in the last of the third, leading 1-0. top of the order, the same guys that produced a lone run in the first inning, and that all started with Trent Keys, who reached on an E6. He'll be followed by Tino Vassell and Nick Sebastiani. Trent Keys, like many of the D1 bounce backs, went to San Jose State, didn't get a lot of run. Los Medanos and then Delta last year. Takes a called strike one. 87, so that velocity much closer to what we saw in the second inning compared to the early 90s we saw out of Winkler in the first.
But if it's locating, that's what you want. And that was a great pitch on the outer half of the plate.
0-1. That one's bounced towards second. Tough hop for Munoz from the outfield grass. He throws out Trent Keys by a step, one away.
Now batting, third baseman, number 21, Tino Vassell.
Brings up Tino Vassell, who got the bunt down successfully on his second attempt, and I think Brendan Comerford remembers that. He's in on the grass at third base.
But the bunt went towards first base side. Yeah.
First pitch to Tino is low and outside, 1-0. Vassell at 5'10", facing the 6'8" right-hander. The pitch. Tino takes a called strike. Clipped the bottom of the zone. One that would have held up if they brought the ABS system to Sonoma. Tino appeared in 26 games for the USF Dons with a .254 average. Here he pops this one high, foul, and out of play. He's behind 1-2.
How far away do you think we are from the ABS system appearing in summer ball?
I think it might never come.
Yeah.
And I don't think it should. I feel like it sort of
I
takes
agree
away
with you
from the
there.
purity of summer ball.
I do agree with you on that.
Brendan Comerford is 4 steps off the line at third base, by the way. If Tino can bunt it down the line, he's on. 1-2 pitch. He strikes out swinging on a breaking ball. It's the third strikeout for Winkler. And he's now very nicely retired 7 straight Stompers.
Nick Sebastiani.
Stompers got a run in the first with an error, a bunt, a walk, and then a Hunter Carlson RBI single. Sebastiani fouls it back to the screen. He drew that walk. He was stranded on second base. Nick struck out just one time, going 5 for 11 in out of league play, and he's in a 1-1 count here. Sebastiani, another guy coming off injury, broke his hamate bone in March. His first at-bat back, a playoff home run for the SRJC Bear Cubs. A 1-1 offer. High 2-1. That one back up to 89. Thank you for joining us on a beautiful Tuesday evening here in Sonoma. The first league game for the Stomps in 2026. 2-1 pitch. Sebastiani takes off the corner 3-1.
It's a great take by Sebastiani.
And now he's in the spot he wants to be, ahead in the count 3-1. Hitters count for the powerful righty. He bounces it weakly foul up the third base line. Filler up at 3-2. Nick only appeared in 12 games in the 2026 spring. Here he awaits a payoff from Winkler, and he hits it foul. Hard but foul over the Stomper dugout on the first base side that hosts manager Zach Pace, pitching coach Mike Nunez, and hitting coach Paul Madereno. Dave Hoke is the third base coach, Jacoby Heyer over at first. Another payoff coming, and Sebastiani grounds it to second. Munoz with a room service hop, throws out Nick, and the inning is over. So Winkler's really settled down. He's retired 8 straight Stompers, and Nate Martin takes over the play-by-play duties for the top of the 4th. Sonoma leads San Luis Obispo 1-0.
Top of the 4th, and Sean McBroom is still on the bump. Been impressive so far. 2 strikeouts, no runs allowed. Only 2 hits allowed. Both came in the first inning, and one of those came from Brendan Comerford, his second time through the order. Breaking ball finds the zone, 0-1. It'll be Comerford, Mater, and Ashlock to the plate. 3, 4, and 5 for SLO, who finds itself down 1-0. The windup and delivery from McBroom. Breaking ball gets him to swing and miss. 0-2.
Now that's a challenge breaking ball from Sean McBroom. That's the true 12-6 curveball, and it drops into the zone at 71 miles an hour.
0-2. High, ball 1.
And that's what the coaching staff loves about McBroom. They keep using the word gutsy and competitor. He trusts his stuff, and he's going to go throw it and say, here it is.
Goes high once more, 2-2. After getting ahead twice on the breaking ball, he goes to the heat high and can't get Comerford to swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one hit into center field. Taylor under it and hauls it in for out number 1.
Chase Taylor's a plus-plus defender out in center field. He started about half the games for the Huskies, and he said he entered a lot of them in the late innings as a defensive substitute in center.
That's Claire Wire, really commanding presence out there. It's not an easy center field to play in Sonoma.
But it's one he's played before. That makes things much easier. 7 games for the Stomps in 2024.
Miles Mater, his first time here at Arnold Field, second time through the order, hits that one sharply up the middle, and it gets through for a base hit. Thinks about going to, stays at first. A 1-out single for the Indiana Hoosier.
That's the second early swing we've seen from Mater, definitely looking to attack early and often. And that's been the game plan against McBroom, who has yet to get up to the 30 pitch mark, and he's working with 1 out in the 4th. It's a very nice pace.
Works at a quick pace as well. Working from the first base side against Mason Ashlock, the DH. Breaking ball just misses the inner half of the plate, 1-0.
Yeah, Mason Ashlock, a guy that hit very well at Arnold Field. 3 for 8 last season.
But with 3 strikeouts ahead of a count here, 1-0. Hits that one slowly off the mound. Ayala turns over to the second, throw over to first, in time! 6-4-3 double play to get out of the 4th. That's the second double play of the Stomp for the Stompers this game. They lead 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Welcome back to Arnold Field for the bottom of the fourth inning alongside Kieran Costa. I'm Nate Martin. Kieran, we just had one of our little middle of the inning games, the Flybird Margarita mashup, and it was originally supposed to be between an adult girlfriend and boyfriend, but the boyfriend was nowhere to be found. The girlfriend was out there by herself, and they brought up a child, and the adult girlfriend proceeded to lay out the child 2 times in a row. I mean, you kind of have to in that position, right?
Yeah, you played a win.
Playing win right now, Hunter Carlson, the 4-hitter on deck, Angel Garcia, and Bryson Ayala up after him, 4, 5, and 6 for the Stompers. First pitch inside called for a ball.
Yeah, if you want to see those in-between inning games or all the other ones.
Got plenty of them.
Yeah, lots of options to see the Stompers and CCL play. Tickets on our website, stompersbaseball.com.
The 1-0 inside called for ball number 2. Similar location to the first.
Yeah, and then a fun one coming up on Thursday, sandwich between some CCL action. The Sonoma County Classic, the Petaluma Leghorns come to town. It was a jam-packed house at Arnold Field. Get your tickets for that one.
The 2-0. Finds the plate, 2-1.
It's a nice pitch. Splits the plate at the knees. Carlson 2-0. That's not the pitch you're taking a hack at.
Carlson already a homer this season, came on Saturday. Awaits the 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. He wanted all of that.
Yeah, that's a fastball in the zone, upper third. Carlson has a nice, it's like a true lefty masher swing, if I didn't mention that earlier. Swung under that heater, though.
Those are pitches you don't want to give Carlson too many of. Ballerina count. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Dialed it back up to 90 for that one. 4th strikeout.
4th strikeout, 9 straight retired. Brings up Angel Garcia, the first strikeout victim. The DH hitting from the right-hand side.
Yeah, Carlson was the last Stomper to get on. That was his 1-out single in the 4th. Everyone else has been retired since then.
The 6'8" Winkler finding his groove here. Working from the first base side. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Just ticked it back up here in the 4th. Maybe Dean Traynor told him could be the end of the road. Give us all we got. Give us all you've got here in the 4th and maybe even the 5th.
Nobody warming up there down on the slow bullpen, though they do have guys over there. The 0-1. Outer half of the plate misses. Evens the count up at 1 apiece. Garcia in his debut on Saturday, 2 for 5 with 2 doubles. Got some really nice pop.
And you go back to that first inning, Stompers really had a chance. First and second, Garcia at the plate, he struck out, and then Ayala popped out. And really, no matter what happens today, barring the Stompers putting up a very crooked number soon, you're going to look back and say you needed to score those runners from second and third.
The 1-1. Fouled back 1 and 2. And absolutely, Kieran. It's been a bit of a trend for the Stompers early this year, as a trend last year, leaving guys in scoring position. It feels like a simple one to fix, so you just bring them around, but it's never is that easy.
The approach has been there. I think that should eventually come with sticking to the approach, sticking to the game plan. We've also seen some great at-bats.
The 1-2. Hitting to opposite field, and it's drops. No foul. Just clipped the line and couldn't stay fair. Unlucky for Garcia. Has to retreat back to the batter's box.
This is a part of the order that needs to produce here. Carlson, Garcia, Ayala, even down to Ripero.
All had very solid games on Saturday. Carlson and Ayala both hit home runs. Garcia takes that one high for ball 2. Garcia 2 doubles. Ripero got his first hit. And they're all D1 guys who produced at that level. The expectation is for them to produce here in Sonoma. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Winkler, and the Blues dugout getting loud.
The Blues bullpen down the left field line, loving it. And
Both
why
starters.
wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they?
3 out of the last 4 have gone down via the K.
And that's been 10 straight retired for Winkler.
He's gotten Garcia twice via the swing and miss.
Ayala last time popped one up the second. Very, very shallow right field. First pitch, swing and hit sharply over to second, fielded, throw over to first, in time for out number 3. 11 straight retired by Winkler. It's still 1-0 as we head to the top of the 5th. Blues looking to score their first run up here in Sonoma. McBroom enters inning number 5 after only making his second entire start of 2026, facing Suzuki, Murillo, and Hicksonbaugh of the Blues order. First pitch to Suzuki, low for strike number 1.
Right fielder number 16,
Kosei Suzuki last time up, struck out, hits that one, a worm burn over to short. Ayala, long throw over to first, gets over Carlson's head. Suzuki retreats back over to first. And E6 puts the leadoff man on.
It's a really tough play for Ayala, ranging to the backhand side deep in the hole. Had to try like a Jeter-esque kind of jump throw, decided to swing it across his body.
Brings up Murillo with the leadoff man on. McBroom once again under pressure early.
Yeah, McBroom forced to the stretch so much of today.
Sharp hit up the left side of the infield. First pitch swinging for Diego Murillo, puts 2 on. Loud off the bat of Murillo. Brings up Jake Hicksonbaugh.
Yeah, and you let McBroom out from the 5th inning, and maybe if you get that first out on the what turned into an error, this inning looks differently, but first pitch attacking for Murillo, and I love this mound visit here for Mike Nunez.
We've seen Nunez come out of the dugout a lot this summer so far, and a lot of the times when he does, you see kind of a change in the pitcher's approach that have oftentimes been for the better.
Yeah, Mike Nunez, a Indy Bowl veteran himself, coached with Zach Pace at Sonoma State, was a pitcher in his day. There's nothing but wisdom to impart there, and he's just telling McBroom to go attack in the zone, trust your stuff. There is action behind him once again.
Some of the names we're expecting to see today: Vince Van Holy, Devin Laginto, perchance. So a couple of guys to keep an ear out for here on the Stompers Broadcast Network. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending your Tuesday night with us. Cloud cover starting to creep over Arnold Field here. Certainly has dropped in temperature since the start of this game. Runners on first and second for Jake Hicksonball, one of two lefties in the lineup for SLO. First pitch, lays down the bunt. McBroom chases, can't field it, doesn't throw. It's bases loaded, nobody out for San Luis Obispo.
Dean Trainer and the Blues out Stomper. The Stompers, first and second, no one out, bunt call. And now things are going to get very, very difficult for McBroom to keep throwing up zeros.
Brings up Isaiah Munoz. Struck out in the third inning. Has bases loaded, nobody out. Corner of the infield playing in the middle at double play depth. Breaking ball misses 1-0.
Close pitch. I like the first pitch breaking ball, especially from McBroom back out of the windup where he's clearly a little bit more comfortable.
The 1-0 looked at for a called strike, evens things up at 1 apiece.
Tick up, 87. Hardest pitch of the evening for McBroom.
By several ticks. The 1-1, swing and a miss, strike 2.
You need a strikeout. He got Munoz swinging back in the third inning. He needs to do the same here, ahead in the count 1-2.
Bases loaded. 1 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out to Munoz. Hit, throw over to home. They get him there, but all the runners advance. Smart play by the third baseman, Tino Vassell. Brings up the top of the order in Dom Nahar, a CCL veteran, his third team in the CCL North in as many years. 2024 with Menlo Park, 2025 with Alameda, 2026 with the SLO Blues. First pitch, looked at for a strike number 1.
Yeah, McBroom's already induced 2 double play balls, 1 to end the first, 1 to end the fourth. Be a magic act if he can get out of this one.
The 0-1. Hit into opposite field and caught for out number 2. The runner's going to tag. Play over at second and third on time, and we have a tie ball game here, folks. Murillo struts across home plate. The rest of the runners hold 1-1 here on the top of the 5th.
First baseman, number 28, CJ Moran.
Exactly what you're supposed to do there, Kieran. Brings up CJ Moran. The UCSD Torero, already a hit today. Lined out to left last time up. First pitch swinging, hit sharply into center. Chase Taylor under it for out number 3. Sean McBroom got into a bases loaded situation. Gives up a run, but gets out of it. It's 1-1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Sonoma in need of a response. Quincy Winkler has been shut down since the first. 5 strikeouts, 4 of them swinging. He's up for inning number 5, facing 7, 8, 9 of the Stompers order. Yuripero, Taylor, and McCown to the plate for Sonoma. Alongside Kieran Costa, I'm Nate Martin. Starting things out with Yuripero, lined out to center field last time up. The first pitch, outside, ball 1. We saw Winkler start off the game with a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. That one falls to 85. Certainly being stretched here in game 1 of 2 between the Stompers and Blues. Finds the zone 1-1. Yuripero, .250 average at Youngstown State in the spring. Got his first hit with the Stompers last time out against Berkovich. Looks at that one for a called ball 2.
Yeah, stats reset really here to start league play. What really matters to the coaches and then a lot of times to the scouts for guys that are in the portal is how you can do against the top competition.
2-1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Yuripero already at a Division I school. 7 guys in the Stompers lineup, currently playing at D1 institutions. The 2 that aren't, Keys and Sebastiani hitting first and third. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Yuripero. Swing and a miss, strike 3. K number 6 for Winkler.
Yeah, Winkler just overpowering these Stompers hitters. A couple of them look underwater at the plate there. Taylor, though, a guy with good bat-to-ball skills, trying to break up this little stretch here. Stompers going down via the K4 the last 6 hitters.
Taylor looks at that one high for a called ball. The Yukon Husky last time flew out to right field. Still in search of his first hit with Sonoma. The 1-0. Looked at low, called strike 1.
Taylor, a guy that was like a contact defense first guy for Sonoma in 24. First BP swing he hit out here a couple days ago.
1-1 hit sharply over short fielded for out number 2. Heads up play by Murillo. Brings up the 9-0 hitter, Gage McCown, who struck out looking first time up.
Catcher number 24, Gage McCown.
McCown, another one of those guys in search of his first hit with the Stompers. Couldn't get a hit in the spring with CSU Northridge, but very much a shutdown pitcher. 3.45 ERA with the Matadors. Got 3 strikeouts in his pitching debut against the Red Tails. Looks at that one away for a called ball.
He's both a catcher and a pitcher. If anyone knows the zone, it's Gage McCown.
Yeah, went down looking last time through the order. 1-0. Hit high into foul territory. Behind the press box here at Arnold Field. 1-1. Top of the order, Keys on deck. 2 outs here. Nobody on. Hit foul once more, 1-2.
And McCown, Las Vegas High School, went down to CSUN. Just 6 at-bats, 0 for 6.
Did draw a walk, though. And for a hit by pitch, that was his lone time getting on with the Stompers. The 1-2 from Winkler. Low in the dirt, ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Looked at for ball number 3. Full count here to McCown.
13 straight Stompers have gotten out without a player reaching base. The last player to reach base was the 4th batter of the ball game. McCown has to flip the order here in the 5th.
The 3-2. Slow roller bounces foul. We'll do it again for McCown. Certainly giving a good fight here to Winkler. This is certainly some of the most we've seen the 6'8" righty been tested this game.
Yeah, pitch count now up over 75.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. McCown looking to turn the order. Hits that one foul into right field towards the Stompers bullpen. A good fight from the catcher. The payoff pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. A great at-bat from McCown to bring up the top of the order.
Yeah, Keys has put the ball on the ground 2 times, reached on an error and wound up scoring the only Stomper run in the 1st. You saw that battle, 8 pitches and a walk from McCown. If you're Keys, you have to key in on his own, no pun intended, and then do damage when you get it there.
Looking to flip the switch here for the Stompers, who haven't reached base until now since the 1st inning. The first pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Hit the mask of the catcher, Mater. Bounces back, seems to be all right. Keys perhaps a little eager on the first pitch.
Yeah, the very long backswing from Keys got a piece of the top of Mater's helmet. I'm with you, a little bit overeager on that pitch.
The 0-1, inside, ball 1. Keys has reached base every single game with the Stompers so far.
Yeah, he was 4 for 10 entering today. Would be a good time to find a gap.
The 1-1, looked at, called strike 2. Just clipped the bottom half of the zone. On deck is Vassell. McCown at first. Keys at the plate. Fouls that one back. And Zach Pace, to say that one should have him on base.
Yeah, he's going to call the other umpires over to make that call, but he very clearly got a big hunk of Mater's glove.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're Trent Keys, you got to sell that a little bit more, but
having a bit of Keys having some words with Mater right now. Did you really actually get that?
His glove came flying off.
Yeah, I would.
This would be a bad miss.
I agree with you there. I would be shocked to see this not be called. Yep, he's taken first. Sometimes that's how you have to do it, Kieran. Interference call puts Keys on first and McCown to second. Tino Vassell with 2 on, 2 down.
Yeah, and I think this is a tough one to argue if you're trainer. You're frustrated that it wasn't called initially and it came off of Zach Pace having to ask, but there was never much of a fight put up by Mater. Maybe that's how you know that maybe it was. I don't know what answer he wants to get here.
It's not like they're going to overturn the call. Trainer, a longtime manager with the Blues. Just like Pace, 2 guys who know the CCL North very well. Have faced off against each other countless times. Trainer gets the best of Pace. Pace gets the best of Trainer. They're tied right now, 1-1 here in the bottom of the 5th.
But the one time it's mattered, the one time they've met in postseason play, that was a Stomper victory in the 2024 CCL North wildcard game down at Sinsheimer Park. DJ Scott, opposite field grand slam. I mean, it's hard enough to homer there. A playoff grand slam, one DJ's not going to forget.
It's opposite field as well. I mean, that's
Chase
very
Taylor
impressive.
scored on that grand slam, if I remember correctly.
In the dugout right now. First pitch to Tino Vassell, looked at for called strike.
It's been given all night. That's a half ball up the corner.
McCown on second, Keys on first. Tied game here in the bottom of the fifth. Vassell, sacrifice bunt, and a strikeout today. The 0-1 to the lefty, hit slowly over to short, picked up, flip over to first in time, out number 3. So the Stompers get their first base runners since the first inning, but they can't do anything with them. It's still 1-1 as we head to the top of the 6th. For the first time today, we have a new pitcher coming into the game. It's Vince Van Holy relieving Sean McBroom of pitching duties. McBroom's stat line for the day: 5 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, no walks, 5 hits, 1 run that was earned. Got the Stompers through 1 run ball of their own. Certainly did his job, and then coming in to replace him, it's Vince Van Holy, the Amersfoort, Netherlands native from Contra Costa College, in his first appearance with Sonoma. 1 inning, 1 strikeout, 1 ball, 2 hits. Facing 3, 4, and 5, Comerford, Mater, and Ashlock. Welcome to loud cheers here at Arnold Field. Comerford to the plate here, single and a fly out to center. Steps into the batter's box. Van Holy's ready, Comerford's ready. The first pitch, high, called for a ball. 87-mile-an-hour fastball there from the righty. Van Holy working from the first base side. Breaking ball misses, ball 2. About a 10-mile-an-hour difference between the fastball and the off speed. Behind the count here, 2-0 to Comerford. Fouled back, 2-1. Comerford, a returner for San Luis Obispo, has played the last couple summers with the Blues. 250 average with them in 2025. The 2-1. Off of the catcher, McCown. Ball 3. Lucky no one was on there.
Yeah, the big thing with Van Holy, his first outing, he got the first 2 batters so quickly, and then went single walk to load the bases before working himself out of the jam. You're not going to work yourself out of jams like that against teams like the Blues. They'll take advantage.
Hitters count. Comerford looks at that one for a called strike. Load him up. Has a team-high 3 doubles. Comerford awaits the full count pitch from Van Holy. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Vince Van Holy comes in and strikes out the first batter he faces. Brings up Miles Mader for his 3rd time through the order.
Catcher number 48, Miles Mader.
A double play to third to end the first inning, and then a single in the 4th. His 3rd time up here. Entering, hitting .500 for the Blues in limited action. Van Holy winds up and delivers. Finds the zone, 0-1. That breaking ball just clips the outer part of the plate. Perhaps a generous call by the umpire. But he's been giving them all night, and as long as he's consistent, that's kind of the big thing we've been preaching, Kieran. It's just being consistent so the batters know what to expect.
Yeah, the zone's the zone. It's the umpire's choice what it is. It just has to stay the same.
0-1 nearly clips him. Might have, but it didn't, they say. Mader steps back in, 1-1. Two-one on the breaking ball that misses outside.
It has to be quite the adjustment from high school in the Netherlands, grew up in the Netherlands, first language Dutch, and then you come play JUCO ball out in California.
See that Contra Costa local school here in the Bay, sticking in NorCal with the Stompers, gets the swing and miss from Mader to even the count up at 2 apiece. On deck is the DH, Mason Ashlock. Nobody on here with 1 out here in the top of the 6th in the tie game. Ballery to count. In the dirt, ball 3.
Back-to-back full counts to start the outing. Van Holy, again, I don't know how many of these guys will see go multiple innings out of the bullpen. Van Holy, I think 2 is sort of going to be the cap. You have to be efficient, especially against the first few guys you face.
The full count. Fouled back. We'll do it again. McCown could have caught that and got him out, but we'll have to do it once more. Mader originally started playing baseball at age 3, was the 33rd ranked prospect in the state of Georgia. Originally from Atlanta, plays his college ball at Indiana where he took a redshirt year. Has a full count here with nobody on, 1 out in the top of the 6th. Drops ball 4, puts the runner on. A 1-out walk.
Yeah, Mason Ashlock now comes up. Not a guy you're going to keep down forever. 3 hits here in Sonoma last year. He's 3 for 11 with a double already to start the year this year. But a really tough year at Rice under the Mendoza line, just 179.
Looks at that one for a called ball.
Low and outside. Gage McCown is a great receiver behind the plate. These close pitches, keeping very close to both edges.
The 1-0. hit sharply in the left, and that's going to drop for a base hit. They'll keep the runner at second. Maynard is in scoring position. Ashlock at first. That was a nice piece of hitting from the Rice Owl.
Yeah, and we talked about Nick Sebastiani's angles and route efficiency when he was in center field. He did a very nice job to read that baseball, cut it off, and hold the runner Mater at second base. Because that runner's rounding second, that play develops right in front of him.
That's a runner in scoring position for Kosei Suzuki. Two internationals facing each other for the first time this year. Granted, from very different places. Van Holy, the Netherlands. Suzuki, Japan, via Australia. Played his high school ball in Adelaide. 1 ball, no strikes. Hit high into the infield. Vassell's under it and hauls it in for out number 2. A big out for Van Holy for more than one reason.
Yeah, but now you have to get Diego Murillo. Never an easy out.
Murillo has reached twice today. First time the hit by pitch, and the second time via a single.
Not just a second hit of the year, though.
Slow start to the year with SLO, but
damage against Sonoma.
339 last summer with the Blues. Van Holy slows it down. The windup, the delivery. Hit into shallow right field. Udipetto hauls it in for out number 3. And Van Holy gets out of the jam. Still a tie ball game as we head into the bottom of the 6th. Sonoma looking to crack the lead. Welcome back to Arnold Field, and we have a new pitcher into the game for the San Luis Obispo Blues. Quincy Winkler's day is done. 5 innings of work, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 hit, 1 run that was earned. Really nice stuff from the 6'8" righty. Now they got Zachary Savino coming to the game, 8 inches shorter, but still a very solid arm. Has already made a few appearances with the Blues this summer. An ERA around 8, but it's still very early, and he's certainly shown some good strikeout stuff. He's facing 3, 4, and 5, Sebastiani, Carlson, and Garcia.
Stompers will happy to see anyone not named Quincy Winkler out there.
Sebastiani certainly is, takes that one for a called ball. Sebastiani, a walk and a ground out. Still searching for his first hit of CCL play and nearly gets that one there, but goes foul. Savino at Cuesta College this past spring, 4.03 ERA in 17 appearances, 7 starts. 1-1 nearly hit Sebastiani, 2-1.
Now pitching for the San Luis Obispo Blues, number 21, Zachary Savino.
The 2-1, swing and a miss, strike 2.
It's 90 at the top of the zone. That's a nice pitch.
Couple of flamethrowers for the Blues early. 2-2, gets Sebastiani.
7th strikeout for Blues pitching, and Sebastiani struck out just once in 3 games of out-of-league play.
Now batting, first baseman, number 20.
Savino feeling good early. He's got to face Hunter Carlson now. The last Stomper with a hit. That came back in the first inning when he was the 4th batter of the ball game for Sonoma. Fouls that one off, 0-1. True power lefty. Has already cleared the right field wall once. Takes that one for a called strike 2.
Carlson's asking. He's a catcher himself. He said, asking maybe, is that the bottom of the zone? It shouldn't go much lower than that if you're Robert McGee.
McGee's zone low and outside. That one too low, ball 1. Hit sharply into right field. That's a knock. Carlson stays at first. A 1-out single, second hit of the day for a lefty first baseman.
That was a really interesting play, and Kosei Suzuki, a really heads-up play by the right fielder. He came up ready to throw that ball to first base. They almost had a 9-3 put-out. Moran didn't get to the bag in time. Kosei came up charging on that 97-mile-per-hour line drive off the bat.
Brings up Angel Garcia, the DH, with a runner on. And Carlson, first pitch. Low, ball 1. Garcia, another one of those catchers brought in by manager Zach Pace. I mean, kind of talked about it's just good to have depth in that position, especially when you can kind of put them also over at first as designated hitters and still get good defense with McCown in the 9 spot. The 1-0, looked at for a strike, 1-1.
It's that same pitch, bottom of the zone. He's been giving it there all night. Hard pitch to damage with, perfect pitch to induce a double play.
That would get San Luis Obispo out of the inning. The 1-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. Garcia's struck out twice today.
Yeah, and that's Garcia, who only had 4 multi-strikeout games and 46 appearances for the Golden Eagles.
More walks than strikeouts with Coppin State.
That's the Stomper build. I think it's just early. He needs to settle in a little bit.
The 1-2, outside blocked.
Hats off to Miles Mater. He's done a very, very good job both working with Winkler and now Savino, but doing a very good job defensively behind the plate, going up, down, into both sides, especially to that hand side, off-glove side in the far batter's box.
2 balls, 2 strikes, a runner on first is Carlson for Angel Garcia. They check back over at first.
Carlson's the only Stomper with a hit.
That type of day for the Sonoma, but they're Still in this 1-1-1 thanks to 5 one-run inning ball from McBroom. Garcia hits that one foul, 2-2. We'll do it again. Van Holy got out of a bit of a jam. I mean, it's been a pitching duel to the truest extent, Kieran.
That it has. McBroom was outstanding, in and out of trouble, as he often is, as a guy that fills up the zone and challenges you. And Winkler struggled early and then sort of relied on the heater, and the Stompers, quite frankly, looked outmatched.
Check back over at first.
You own a blue BMW with a San Luis Obispo sticker on it. You might want to check your windshield.
Ballerina count. Garcia hits that one over the head of a second baseman. Back-to-back base hits for Sonoma. A big play by Angel Garcia to just sneak that one over the glove of Munoz. It's 2-on here against the new arm.
Second big at-bat today for Bryson Ayala. He came up with 2 on, 2 out in the first inning. He popped out and then grounded out. That was sort of when Winkler was really in his groove. It's a guy Zach Pace relied on. Coach Mayo was going over some stance, some swing things with Bryson before the game today. Let's see what happens here.
First pitch to Ayala. Swing and a miss, strike one. Ayala 3 for 4 last time out with 4 RBIs and a homer. Yet to reach today the 2-lane green wave with 2 on in a tie game. Hits that one into opposite field, drifting foul towards the Stompers bullpen.
Time to battle here if you're Bryson. You got to shorten up, maybe try and shoot something the other way. Moran playing behind the runner, and then Munoz double play depth. There's a hole on the right side.
Swing and a miss. Goes down via the K for the first time today. Second strikeout. And 8th of the day for slow pitching. Savino in a bit of a groove.
Second baseman, number 46, Marcel Uripero.
Brings up Misael Uripero. With 2 on, the lefty trying to break the deadlock. First pitch, breaking ball over the plate. 0-1.
It's a tight slider.
Kind of backdoored him there. Righty on lefty. We give the advantage here to Uripero, who's struck out once today, a line out in the second inning as well to center. Guy who you don't want to get on, though, with a lot of speed. Tight stance that allows him to get on. Took 8 hit-by pitches with Youngstown State in the spring.
Big at-bat here for Misael.
The 0-1, swing and a miss, strike 2. We've seen that a lot today from Stompers hitting. Swings and misses. Runners on first and second, 2 outs, 2 strikes, no balls to Uripero. The windup, the delivery, outside ball 1. Savino.
I like how Misael looks in the box, but bright pink leg guard with 2 bright pink wrist tapes on both sides and the elbow guard. Flashy.
Trying to get some flash here. Looks at that one for a called ball 2. Battling. We've already seen some battles against Savino. Garcia, who's on first, had a long at-bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 outs. Fouled over the press box. We'll do it once more. Uripero
Ladies and gentlemen,
resilient.
we have Sonoma Stomper kick boxes available at the merchandise stand.
And what feels like a big moment in this game. 2 on, 2 outs. 2-2 count. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Yuri Perro goes down via the K. Savino had 3 this inning, and it's still a tie game as we give it back to Kieran Costa for the rest of your play-by-play duties. 1-1 tie game. Stick with us.
To the 7th inning we go. We have ourselves a doozy to open up league play. The Blues and the Stompers all level at 1 apiece.
Left fielder number 5, Jake Hexenbaum.
Jake Hicksonball, left fielder from the left side, will face Vince Van Holy out for his 2nd inning of work. And Jake takes up and away, 1 ball and no strikes. Hicksonball hit .320, .455 on base percentage for Pueblo. Awaits the 1-0. It's hit deep to right field. Chasing back is Keys, and he makes the running catch towards the line. That's a pitch Van Holy wants back, a breaking ball that just sort of hung in the zone. But TK25 runs it down in right, 1 away. A long and loud out number 1.
A collective sigh across Arnold Field in the stands, Kieran. That one looked like and sounded like it was going to leave the ballpark.
Now it's Isaiah Munoz's turn. And he hits a ground ball to first. It's past Carlson into right field. It's a very weak ground ball, a great pitch in on the hands, just a cue shot that snuck into right.
Carlson, usually a catcher. He's not really used to making plays at that angle, and it's a tough play to make. And a backhand, slow roller. You think you're going to get there, and you just don't.
Yeah, Carlson split time between catcher and first for Georgia State. Gonna do the same here with Sonoma. The leadoff man, Nahar, takes a called strike 1. A lot of first pitch breaking ball from Van Holy with Devin Laginto up and loosening for Sonoma. Laginto started at Sinsheimer last year. He's faced the Blues before. Oh, 1 pitch. That one's hit hard to third. Vassell makes the catch. He won't throw back. So yet another hard hit ball finds a glove. But Van Holy very quickly has 2 outs. Still that runner at first base in the form of Munoz. And the dangerous C.J. Moran digs in.
I mean, those are 2 balls that found barrels, Karen. Van Holy is playing with fire.
First pitch, outside. Moran's played for a couple different schools down in San Diego, SDSU to USD. Awaits for 1-0. It's high. 2-0, and Van Holy again struggling a little bit when he gets 2 outs in the inning, something we saw in his out-of-league appearance. That was against the Red Tails.
I mean, the mindset is simple, Kieran. You just got to tell yourself you're 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning and probably your outing.
2-0, short lead at first for Munoz, not running. And that one misses way up and away. 3 balls and no strikes. Van Holy visibly frustrated. He's going to take a stroll around the pitcher's mound. The sunlight completely gone. The lights are on, have taken no effect. 8 o'clock on a beautiful summer evening in Sonoma County. And we've been treated to a very nice CCL opener. 3-0 on the way from the righty Van Holy. The lefty Moran takes ball 4. None of those pitches particularly close, and you see if that might be the end of Van Holy's night as Zach Pace comes to the mound. And you'd think this would be to make the call.
Yeah, I would be surprised if it's not to make that to switch out Van Holy. He's got himself into a spot of bother. And, yeah, I think Pace might have just grabbed the ball from him.
Yeah, we'll see if Van Holy can talk his way to stay in this one. He will not. To Devin Laginto go the Stompers. 2 on, 2 out. Tie game in the 7th. We'll be right back. Devin Laginto starts year 2 with the Stompers in a hairy spot in the 7th. First and second, 2 away. Laginto made 9 appearances, 7 of them starts for Zach Pace last year, 2-3 record, a 4.4 earned run average. He struck out 33 hitters over 32 2/3. Led the Stompers in innings pitched. That won't be the case this year. He's going to be primarily out of the bullpen after his 1 year at Delta College. Moran's from first. Munoz is from second. Comerford takes outside 1-0. Laginto loses his hat in the process, something we're used to seeing from Dev. He gives 110% on every pitch. Sporting the usual high socks, he comes set at the belt and comes home. Comerford takes a ball, 2-0. Very close pitch. Fastball at 85 miles an hour.
Laginto, out of his debut, he was actually a start. Only went 2 innings, granted, and was a little frustrated with himself. Allowed 4 hits, 2 runs. They weren't earned, though, but struck out 3.
2-2. Called strike, outside corner. Comerford disagreed, as did third base coach Rene Regalado. Big pitch. 2 on, 2 out, 2-1. Laginto stares into McCown and fires outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Devin only walked 7 guys in 32 2/3 innings, but command was sort of what he hung his hat on last year. Hitters count. If Comerford finds a gap, the Blues find a lead. 3-1. Swing and a miss, 3-2. Hinge pitch. Runners will be moving from first and second as the payoff comes to Brendan Comerford. Laginto's pitch. Struck him out swinging. Devin Laginto cleans up the mess for Vince Van Holy. It's time to stretch in Sonoma. The Blues and the Stompers tied at 1. Carson Boyer comes out of the bullpen, a guy that has quite the resume just out of high school. He pitched in the West Coast League before his freshman year at Gonzaga. At Westland High School, he was first team All-State in Oregon. It's impressive. He threw just 2.2 innings for the Zags, 4 earned runs, 2 hit batsmen, no walks, no strikeouts.
Yeah, but in his 1 appearance for SLO, just an inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Certainly setting the tone for his summer. Kind of the sidearm delivery, an awkward release point for batters. It's going to be an adjustment for Chase Taylor and guys up after him.
Yeah, it's a 3/4 arm slot from the 6', 205 lefty. Slings it in there. And he gets 8, 9, and 1. Taylor, McCown, and Keys.
Taylor.
Chase squares the bunt, pulls it back, and takes a ball. Charging from third is Comerford.
And this is a good time to go to a lefty because you got Taylor, McCown, and Keys. Taylor's a lefty, McCown switch hitter, Keys a lefty. Vassell, the man after Keys, also a lefty.
Bunt sign was off. Taylor takes the pitch for a ball. 2-0. Taylor takes a called strike. Taylor Awaits for 2-1 and takes low outside. He had 2 hits in the wild card game against the Blues, the one the Stompers ended up winning down in Sinsheimer in 2024. They'd eventually lose to the Crawdads in the North title. 3-1. Taylor takes inside ball 4. Stompers have the leadoff man on in the 7th. Just the second time they have the first batter on base in 7 frames.
And that one other time was in the first inning when they scored a run. You only need 1 run to break the deadlock. Sonoma will take that.
Catcher number 24, Gage McCowan.
Gage McCowan's turn, the 9-hitter. He squares to bunt, and he takes a strike. Taylor a threat to run. He swiped 3 bags for Sonoma in very limited action, as I mentioned, in 2024. And then in 2026 for the Huskies. He's running here towards second, but McCown can't get the bunt down. You assume that sign will be off with 2 strikes. Stole 8 bags. So McCown is now swinging away with 2 strikes on him. Comerford's not so sure. He's still in on the grass at third. Moran holds the runner at first. The righty McCown takes inside. It almost hit him. It does. On an 0-2 pitch, a slider aimed for the back foot of McCown clips him. The Stompers are set up first and second, no one out for the top of the order.
This feels big, Kieran.
That it does, Nate. That it does.
I mean, they got into a good position last time around and couldn't score runners. They had first and second with 1 out. Couldn't bring him home. Now you have first and second, nobody out with the top of the order coming around. Guys like Keys, Vassell, Sebastiani, who you expect to get on base and advance guys. And that's why you see Dean Traynor coming out of the dugout to have a word.
Yeah, short leash here before Dean's going to come talk to him. It's been just 2 hitters, but he has not at all liked what he's seen. A walk and then a hit by pitch on 0-2. And this is a young kid, true freshman, only 4 appearances at the college level, and he's thrown into the fray in a 1-1 game, bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, and it's a guy who didn't pitch for nearly 2 months in between his appearances with Gonzaga. Had a really tough go against Oklahoma. No innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, gave up a triple. And that's kind of what forced him, to kind of ride the bench for a little bit, which is just really tough for a freshman. You're getting thrown into that position against SEC opposition. It's never going to be easy. And, he did bounce back against Washington State next time after that, but it's still a tough position to be thrown into.
Runners lead from first and second. The lefty Keys digs in. And here you expect a bunt. Slow is set up for it. Wheeler stares in. Keys squares around and takes outside for ball 1. And this is how well can you get your bunt down. They're crashing for it. They're maybe try and make a play at third base. If you get it up the third base line, you can probably move the base runners for Tino Vassell. Keys squares again, bunts it, and it's a beauty up the third baseline. Off the mound goes Boyer. The throw to first is not in time by the third baseman, Comerford. That's why Zach Pace has the bunt sign on, 2 on, no out. The base is full of Stompers. This is the chance in inning number 7.
If I were to pull up a dictionary and look at the photo next to a bunt, I would look at that. That was picture perfect, Kieran. To a T.
Oh, and to the bench goes Zach Pace. He calls upon the righty, Andrew Bonfili.
Number 25, Andrew Bonfili.
This is interesting, Kieran. He's hitting in spot of a third baseman, Vassell.
Yeah, the corresponding move here is you have to go to a righty, and this proves that the righty who Zach Pace trusts the most is Andrew Bonfili. Case DeRomalar will probably come in to defend. That doesn't matter right now. Bases full of Stompers, nobody out in the 7th. Andrew takes up and outside, ball 1. A walk's as good as a hit. Bonfili, USF, and then I was out of Sonoma Valley High School, spent last couple years at West Valley College. Local kid, righty hitter, 1-0. Chases out of the zone, and the count's 1-1.
Just got to get an out by any means necessary. You'd like the strikeout. You'd like something in the infield.
Bonfili 4 for 18 with the Stompers in 2024. Looking for a big swing to start 2026. 1-1. In there for a called strike.
You got to be swinging at that, Kieran. You got to be swinging at that.
One-two. Bonfili chokes up on the bat. Slightly open stance from the right side. And he hits it foul, back and out of play. Bonfili will stay alive. Headed out to Hawaii. He'll play at Chaminade this coming fall. One-two pitch. Andrew takes a called strike 3 at the knees. That's the first one.
That's killer. That's killer. A strikeout looking, taken by a guy who's usually behind the dish as a catcher. That's the second time we've had a catcher strikeout looking today for Sonoma. It is pretty brutal.
First pitch misses in to Nick Sebastiani.
But this is a guy who you want up in this moment against the lefty. Your 3-hole hitter hitting from the right-hand side.
Sebastiani, a flair for the dramatic here at Arnold Field. Bases full with 1 out. Nick takes high 2-0.
And a walk is as good as a run, as you said. You just need to take the lead. Obviously, you'd like to score more with bases loaded, nobody out, but just taking the lead will do.
Two-0 pitch. Sebastiani hits it hard up the middle. Munoz flips to second for 1. The relay to first is in time.
I thought he stepped off the bag there. And if he didn't step off the bag, it was not in time. That is ridiculous, Kieran.
Oh, my goodness.
And the Blues dugout is loving it. All exiting, jumping out in excitement. The umpires are going to confer at the middle.
Yeah, I think Dean knows he made a mistake, and he's going to call them back out onto the field, I think. I think Dean Poteet might admit his mistake in this spot and put runners back out on the field, and I don't know how you explain this one to Dean Trainer, who's upset. Everyone in this ballpark was shocked at the play. Even the first baseman, Moran, came up throwing to home because he knew he was safe.
I mean, if anything else should give it away, Kieran.
And Dean's still having a conversation with Dean Trainer. He's irate, fires the gum out of his mouth, and he's going to get his money's worth at this umpiring crew. And to be quite honest, I can't blame him.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope the umpires would stay true to their call, especially when you don't have a clear replay system here that you can look at, challenge a call and whatnot. And yeah, the slow players are kind of walking that out of their dugout with their fielding gear on. They're all standing at that third base line, usually where Dave Hoke is, kind of staring curiously. Trainer's still there giving his earful. They're waving the players back on the runner at third. Hoke's going back over to third.
And you can hear him from here. All I heard was the call was out. The call was out. And
the call was out.
This is
it was the wrong
very
call.
interesting spot to be.
The call was out on the field, but it was the wrong call. He stepped off the bag, or it wasn't in time. Whatever it was, the first baseman thought he had to make a throw across the infield to signify that it was an out.
I think Nick Sebastian just beat him. I have nothing against Moran. Moran made a very nice play to stay on first base. And there has to be sort of a conclusion to this conversation here. Because if I'm Dean Trainer, I'm going to have my money's worth until I'm ejected. And if I'm Dean Poteet, because we're guessing on what's happening here, if you're going to say he was safe, you have to apologize and sort of take accountability here, which I think is what he's doing. Trainer crosses his arms. It looks like Dean Poteet's doing most of the talking here. Let's take you through the situation. It's bases loaded, 1 out. Sebastiani hits a hard ground ball to second. They get an out with a flip to the shortstop, Murillo, and the return throw to first clearly was late, which would have scored a run, the go-ahead run for the Stompers. Zach Pace came flying out of the dugout. Even the first baseman, Moran, acted like it was going to be a safe call, and then Dean Poteet shockingly says, out.
He's kind of standing there stubbornly, like just refusing to leave the field until he's asked to. And if that means being ejected, I think Trainer is more than happy to do that, to stand up for his guys. And I really respect that out of the longtime manager of the SLO Blues.
But it's not even standing up for his guys. It's just standing up for what's a miscommunication.
Now one of the umpires going over to the Blues field players to have a word.
If he's not called safe at first base, I wonder what these last 5 minutes have been for.
Yeah. I am with you. I have no idea what it would be for. I don't know why all the Blues players would have came out of the dugout. I think we are clearly going to an obvious conclusion, which is the run scores, the Blues players are returning to the field. That signifies that the Sonoma Stompers have taken their first lead since the 5th inning.
So, RBI fielder's choice for Nick Sebastiani. Chase Taylor scores from third. Gage McCown goes to third. Keys is out at second base. Sebastiani aboard on a 4-6 fielder's choice. RBI for Nick. Back to the mound goes Carson Boyer.
If anything, it gives the guy who is warming up some more time to come in, because inevitably I do think Boyer was on a short leash here.
I think he stays out. I mean, he did everything he needed to there. He induced the perfect double play ball. I mean, it was hit a little too softly, so there was no turn. We're going to take a break. We're going to take a break here on the Sonoma Stompers Broadcast Network. We'll come back in a moment. So everyone's back at their original positions. It's an RBI for Nick Sebastiani. Most importantly, it's a 2-1 lead for Sonoma. And this is a situation where the umpire made the wrong call, and he amended it immediately. It just happened to be the biggest pitch of the ball game. So,
of course it had to be the biggest pitch of the ball game, Kieran. How else would you want to open CCL play?
Sebastiani's at first base. McCown's at third. So there's runners at the corners with 2 outs for Hunter Carlson. I haven't seen that in a while. There's been some calls that umpires have gotten wrong and managers have disagreed with. I've never seen an umpire so quickly admit his mistake.
That says a lot about the umpires, though. I mean, making the right call for the game, eating your own pride. I really respect that.
Number 52, Hunter Carlson.
2 outs. Comerford's still playing in on the grass at third and way off the line. Sebastiani leads from first. Runners on the corner situation, he doesn't go. And Carlson takes outside for ball 1. We're back to a very high-pressure situation after a 10-minute layoff. Comerford, the third baseman, off the line. Hickson by the left fielder shades towards the line. Carlson, left-handed hitter with power. Hits it over the head of the shortstop into center field. It's a base hit and an RBI for Hunter Carlson. Stompers double up their lead. It's 3-1. A 3-hit day for the Stomper first baseman.
Oh boy, do the SLO Blues wish that call wasn't overturned now. Not only did that call score the run, it extends the inning, and Hunter Carlson, who's having himself a day, makes it a 2-run game. I'm very curious to see how the Blues respond over the next couple innings.
So now you're counting out 6 outs to get for Sonoma. We'll see who Zach Pace turns to in the back end of his bullpen. 2 on, 2 out. Garcia hits it hard but foul down the third base line. Almost snuck that one inside the bag.
I mean, an underrated part of this is Laginto's been sitting in the dugout now for 10, 15 minutes after just facing one batter. He's going to be getting cold.
Oh, 1 pitch. Outside 1-1. The pick goes back to first base, and Moran just saved disaster. Mader threw down to first with nobody covering, and Moran went back on that ball like he was fielding a chopper and saved it. It'd still be rolling down the right field line.
Very easily saved a run there.
1-1 to Garcia. Foul the opposite way. Out of play, 1-2. Stompers 2 runs on 2 hits in the inning. It looked for a moment like the Blues were out of the inning on a double play ball off the bat of Nick Sebastiani. 1-2, Garcia trying to blow this one open. 2 on, 2 out. 1-2 pitch. Garcia hits it foul again. Late on 86. One-two pitch. Inside and low, 2-2. Deuces wild, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Garcia stares out towards the pitcher's mound. Boyer comes to the plate. And Angel crushes it to the left center field gap. That ball is down, and it's all the way to the wall. 1 run comes home. Dave Hoke with the send sign. The play at the plate is not in time. In and out of the glove of Mader. It's a 2-out, 2 RBI double for Angel Garcia. And a 7th inning mired in controversy has led to a 4 spot for Sonoma. 3rd double in 2 days for Angel.
It all comes back to that flipped call. We'd be midway through the 8th inning by now. Instead, the Stompers are still hitting with no signs of the inning slowing down. 2-out rallies, Kieran, have been so big for Sonoma this season. They got another one here.
I think Dean Trainer's going to make the move, and he will. And in a spot like this, you do truly feel for Carson
absolutely.
Boyer. He loaded the bases with nobody out. He struck out the pinch hitter, Andrew Bonfili, and then he got what could have been a double play ball off the bat of Sebastiani, and then he thinks he does. You adrenaline dump going back to the dugout, and then you're called back onto the field. It's a situation where you want to, I think if you're Dean Trainer, maybe you think of those as unearned runs. You don't want to put that against Boyer, who exits with a runner on second when things are all said and done. We'll be back to tell you all about the new pitcher. A 4 spot in the 7th. Sonoma leads it 5-1. Matthew Betancourt comes out of the bullpen to relieve Carson Boyer with a runner at second and 2 outs. An 8.29 earned run average over 3 years with Fresno Pacific. He's totaled 76 frames. Second year with SLO. And first pitch, Ayala bounces it off home plate, 0-1. 7 games, 15.2 innings. He had a 2.30 earned run average for Dean Trainer and Company in 2025. Looks to get Bryson Ayala and end this inning with just 4 runs across for the Stomps. The pitch. Ayala hits it high in the air to deep left. Hicks and Bob back at the track, looking up, and she's gone. Big fly, Bryson. Way gone to left off the bat of Bryson Ayala. And Mater's in the face of Ayala as he crosses home plate. And here we go. Out come the Blues coaches. And Rene Regulato is screaming in the home plate umpires' faces. And a 7th inning where the wheels were off the wagon a long time ago. Sprinkle in a little bit more drama. Some players on the Blues did not like the way that Ayala watched that baseball leave the yard. And we go back. Did Bryson watch it? Oh, he did. Ayala held the bat, walked it halfway up the first base line, and fired it towards the Stomper dugout. And Rene Regulato was irate. And Mater, the catcher, got in the face of Ayala when he rounded third. The first pitch now to Yuri Pero is low for ball 1. And
God forbid a man enjoys his home run.
I hate to say it, I think San Luis Obispo might have a point. 1-0 pitch. Called strike, 2-0. And I'm all for watching your home runs fly, things like that. But in a situation like this, an inning like this, maybe drop the bat and head to first, as that one's outside. And maybe that's the baseball purist in me. Don't even get me started on the automatic runner at second base. But it's been a controversial 7th. 2-1. Outside, 3-1. This inning's still going, by the way. Misael Uripero is the 9th man to bat in inning number 29 of the last of the 7th. 7-1 now, Sonoma's lead. 3-1. Inside and low ball 4.
I think it's important to mention, though, I mean, that is Ayala's second homer in as many games. After kind of, these guys who kind of slower starts for the first 2 games, turn it up over the last couple. I mean, Carlson with 3 hits. Ayala with back-to-back jacks.
Center fielder number 1, Chase.
These are guys who were expecting reduced for Sonoma, and that comes with controversy, but it is what it is at the end of the day.
First pitch to Taylor, as we've hit around, is a called strike 1. He walked and then scored on an umpire review, fielder's choice. A half-hour-long last of the 7th. 0-1 pitch. Taylor takes a called strike. He's behind 0-2.
I think the Blues just want to get out of this inning, and I don't blame them. It has been a really, really tough one, frustrating, annoying, whatever adjective you want to use.
0-2's outside 1 and 2.
Demoralizing. I think that's the one I'm landing on, Kieran.
I would say frustrating because you thought you were out of it.
Yeah, and then you're feeling all good and mighty, I mean, that dugout was so loud after the double play was turned. They had guys exiting out of it. I don't know if things were said to the Stompers dugout, but they were fired up. I mean, now
The
you're in this
pitch
position.
misses outside. The count's 2-2. Taylor awaits the even count offer, and Chase takes a called strike 3 at the top of the zone. Right call from Robert McGee in a very long 32-minute bottom of the 7th. The Stompers get 6 runs on 4 hits, and the bases are left empty. We head to the 8th. Sonoma now leads at 7-1.
Now batting, catcher number 48, Miles Nader.
We go to the 8th inning, and Miles Mader will lead it off, followed by Mason Ashlock and Kosei Suzuki. Waginto from the wind slings it home. Called strike 1.
I think it's hard not to go back to Mater last inning where he got in the face of Ayala after he stared at the home run for a little too long.
0-1 catches the sleeve of Miles Mader, and he goes to first. No argument from McCown nor Zach Pace, so the leadoff man is aboard.
I don't think we need any more arguments in this game.
I think if you disagree with the call, no matter the situation, you can voice that, but I agree with you maybe to let it lie a little bit.
It just feels tense right now, even though it's a 6-run game.
First pitch, Ashlock takes a called strike. Waginto's arm slot seems to have changed even a tiny bit more from last summer. He's dropping it a little further down towards the side. It's not a true 3/4 motion, but it's getting closer to that. 0-1. Outside 1-1. Over through the fastball. The Stompers scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 7th. That was capped off by a Bryson Ayala 2-run shot. 1-1. To the screen. It's going to bounce back to McCown. He won't throw to second. So, wild pitch charge to Waginto. There's a runner in scoring position quickly with nobody out, and ahead in the count is Mason Ashlock. And Waginto needs a shutdown inning here. It is a 6-run lead, but that can go in a blink of an eye. Just ask Dean Trainer. 2-1 pitch coming to Ashlock. 1 for 3 on the day. Outside again with a slider. Mader's at second. He was hit by a pitch and advanced on a wild pitch. 3-1. Called strike. And Mason Ashlock has to retrieve his bat from towards the third base dugout. He thought he was aboard with a walk. Instead, he faces a payoff pitch from Devin Laginto. Shakes off McCown's first sign, agrees on the second, and it's hit foul. One defensive change. Kays DeRomalar is playing third base. Tino Vassell was lifted for Andrew Bonfili, who struck out.
We always know when DeRomalar is into the game in the infield because it suddenly gets just a little bit more louder.
Another 3-2 pitch from Laginto. That's hit weakly towards second. Ranging back is Europero. He leaps and makes the catch. A soft line drive. Ashlock just reached out and flicked it right to the second baseman, one down. And that brings up Kosei Suzuki. 0 for 3. He struck out, reached on an error, and popped out to the third baseman. Motion in the Stomper pen. Laginto comes to the plate. It's foul back to the screen. Laginto working ahead of Suzuki. 6 for 19 entering play, and he's behind 0-2. And you got to give it to the Blues. They have not really swung and missed today. McBroom had 2 strikeouts through 5. Van Holy had 1, and Laginto has 1. So just 4 strikeouts with 1 out here in the visitors' 8th. 0-2 pitch. Laginto gets him swinging. Right on cue. Devin Laginto gets Kosei Suzuki to chase. That's the second strikeout for Kosei, and the second time he's chased a pitch well out of the strike zone.
I was going to say, I mean, like, one of the strengths of the Stompers' first 3 games was their strikeouts. I mean, they had 14 one game, 11 one game as a pitching staff.
Now batting, third baseman, number 7, Diego Murillo.
Diego Murillo digs in. And that's in there for a called strike. Laginto doing a nice job of getting ahead. Ready to throw an 0-1. The pitch. Check swing on a pitch that was low, but counts 1-1. Laginto's 1-1. Is hit into right field. It's down for a base hit. Keys comes over. Regalado, a very late stop sign for the runner Mader. And running on the pitch, I think he wants to see him score there, but he had to hold him as Keys got it in quickly. Murillo's second hit of the ball game. And now it's Jake Hicksonbaugh's chance. Regalado was up the line with the send and then threw up the stop sign at the last minute. Laginto's pitch. Misses inside. To the lefty, Hicksonbaugh. Reached on an error single, then lined to right. Laginto came in with 2 on and 2 out in a tie game. Now he's pitching with a 6-run cushion. And Hicksonbaugh spoils it foul 1-1. That's an 81-mile-per-hour changeup, middle in, belt high. Jake Hicksonbaugh might want that one back.
About a 5-6 mile an hour difference to his fastball. It's effective from Laginto, especially with his arm slot.
Devin checks on first. Now comes set at the belt. The runner, Murillo, doesn't go, and Hicksonbaugh takes a called strike at the knees. Outer edge, 1-2. Hicksonball looking to reach for the third time and get the Blues a second run. The 1-2 offer outside, 2-2. Not a bad spot. He tried to go fastball off the outer corner. Hicksonball didn't bite. Two-two pitch coming. Hicksonball takes a cold strike 3. Laginto strands a couple on the base paths behind him. We head to the bottom of inning number 8. Stompers 7, Blues 1. We come back for the last of the 8th inning. We close the book on Betancourt, who faced 3 hitters. One of them was the Bryson Ayala home run. So 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned. He walked a batter and struck out a batter. His one inherited runner did come across on what was a long home run by Ayala, and he let the Blues know it. Mater and the catcher didn't like it. The first base coach, Kozar, didn't like it either. And the first pitch is a called strike from the new pitcher, Lucas Shannon.
6'2" righty from University of San Diego.
0-1 pitch. Taken for a ball.
14.04 ERA with the Toreros and 10 appearances. 10 even strikeout to walk ratio.
The pitch is in and out of the glove of Mater, and McCown's ahead 2-1.
Number 38, Lucas Shannon.
McCown's come to the plate 5 times in league and out of league play. He's walked, been hit by 2 pitches, and struck out twice. 2-1 pitch. Hit foul off the foot of Gage.
This is Shannon's first appearance this summer with the SLO Blues. You know, San Luis Obispo is one of those teams that kind of add guys as the summer goes along. They have a lot of D1 guys that come late because of, you know, College World Series play, and that leads them to have replacement players, temps. Shannon's first appearance this summer.
2-2 home. Low. Spiked it. It came up and hit Mater, the catcher, in the shoulder. And the count runs full on Gage McCown.
Of course, one of a couple U San Diego guys. for the Blues this summer. C.J. Moran, another one.
Payoff pitch coming to McCown, and he checks his swing on a pitch that was outside. He starts sprinting to first on a drop third strike. He can jog. It's a walk. And Gage McCown has worked some great at-bats.
Yeah.
Now batting, right fielder number 3, Trent Keys.
I'm going to walk. The hit by pitch last inning. After that strikeout looking, he's had a real bounce back day at the plate.
Keys left-handed hitter. 1 for 3, beg your pardon. And he takes low. He's reached via an error, a catcher's interference, and then a single. He was then erased at second on that ground ball by Nick Sebastiani. The only true out on that play. Thank you for joining us on a Tuesday. Keys hits this one to the right center field gap, cutting over his Suzuki, and it's down, and it's rolling all the way into the alley. Dave Hoke will stop the runner McCown at third, and the Stompers are set up in a big way here, second and third with nobody out. Trent's first double of league action after a 3-double day in the North title last season. And that brings up Kays DeRomular.
DeRomular has just been such a fun guy to watch. Works really good
Number 50,
at bats.
DeRomular.
Some good contact off his bat. One of my favorite players on the team earlier this summer, Kieran.
As now the third man to bat in the second position. As the infield draws in, trying to keep it a 6-run game. The pitch to Kays is a called strike at the knees. This is a big at-bat for DeRomular. One-two pitch to Kays is fouled back to the screen. DeRomular, a right-handed hitter, facing the righty Shannon. Infield stays drawn in. The 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3, outside corner.
Now batting, left fielder number 6, Nick Sebastiani.
11th strikeout of a day for Sonoma. If there's anything that SLO has done really well this game and that you can take away, it's been this great strikeout stuff from the pitching staff.
That brings up the righty Sebastiani, who takes a strike. He was the heart of that controversy on the ground ball. That was his first strikeout for Shannon. The pitch to Sebastiani, swing and a miss, 0-2. Winkler to Savino to Boyer to Betancourt, now to Shannon. Trying to wheel his way out of trouble. 0-2 offer outside, 1-2. 88 miles an hour on the fastball. One ball and 2 strikes. Shannon trying to get on the same page as Mater. He shakes him once. Now they agree. And it's a called strike 3. Back-to-back looking strikeouts of DeRomular and Sebastiani. A couple of Bear Cubs gone a-looking. And now it's Hunter Carlson, who has 3 singles today.
Now batting, first baseman number 52, Hunter Carlson.
3 singles, 2 of them of the RBI variety. The lefty Carlson works against the righty Shannon. Outside at 88 again. Carlson, a guy they wanted to come through, and he really has here in the CCL opener. 1-0 pitch. Hunter takes a strike. (7-1) Sonoma. The pitch to Carlson is a called strike at the knees. Perfect pitch. The count's 1-2.
A big reason why Blues pitching staff has 12 strikeouts today is because they've been working the lower part of the plate, that bottom of a zone, so well.
One-two pitch. Carlson, it's a blooper. Down the left field side, Comerford cuts into foul ground to make the catch. For the Stompers, it's no runs on 1 hit and 2 left. Last looks for the Blues. They trail it 7-1. Sam Schnitzer comes out of the bullpen for Sonoma. He closed out opening day against the Red Tails, 1 1/3 innings, 2 strikeouts, and the first one he throws is to the backstop. Little overamped at 93 miles an hour. Got some life on that thing.
Yeah, in his debut of Sonoma, 1 1/3, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Impressive stuff.
1-0 pitch from Sam. Fastball 91.
But obviously the important thing is, I mean, it's a clean sweep. It's start of league play. These are when the stats actually count for something.
1-1. Swing and a miss. There's the off speed at 84. Challenged him, and he was early. The 1-2 offer on the way. Popped foul and out of play. Munoz has struck out, bounced into a fielder's choice. He's also singled. The 1-2 pitch. Struck him out looking. That's the fastball. He dotted it at 92. His first. Stompers pitching 6th.
Now batting, center fielder number 23, Dominic Nahar.
Schnitzer back to the top. He faces Dominic Nahar 0 for 3, a sac fly and the lone RBI. Takes inside. Schnitzer when he misses badly. That one's to the screen again.
Again, just feels a little eager. 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and he takes that down a couple. He finds the zone a lot of the time, and it's really effective.
Schnitzer looking to put the finishing touches on a win. He misses inside yet again. It's 2-0. Fifth time through. They're facing a 4th Stomper arm. Schnitzer's 2-0. It's a live fastball with movement. Problem is the movement's running up and out of the zone 3-0. .3-0 pitch. Called strike at the knees. Sam Schnitzer looking to claw his way back into the count against the leadoff man, Nahar. 3-1 offer. Foul back to the screen. Filler up 3-2. Stompers and the Blues go at it for a second time tomorrow at 6:05. And I expect nothing but more fireworks in that one. Schnitzer just shook off twice. You wonder what's coming on the payoff. Nahar fouls it at the plate. He wanted the off-speed, and he threw it in the zone, and he had Nahar fooled. The Cal State East Bay Pioneer will face a second payoff. Schnitzer sets and deals. Curveball, high ball 4. It's the 3rd walk by Stomper pitching. McBroom hit a batter, Van Holy walked 2, and Waginto hit a batter as well. Now he has to deal with a lefty and CJ Moran.
Number 28, CJ Moran.
One on, one out. Sonoma riding a 6-run 7th to a 7-1 lead. The pitch. Way outside 1-0. And the misses from Schnitzer aren't close, but it's clearly a live arm. .1-0 pitch, runner goes. It's bounced towards second. Yuri Perro gloves and throws out the speedy Moran. To second base on the play goes Nahar, and now there's just one out left in the ball game.
I mean, very speedy top of the order. Nahar's stolen some bags. Moran's stolen some bags.
And Brendan Comerford, trying to avoid a golden sombrero, will bat for the 5th time.
Now batting, shortstop number 2, Brendan Comerford.
Runner goes again. McCown's going to throw to third on a hop. Nice play by Kays de Romelar. Is that a catcher's indifference situation, you would ask? I guess 6 runs isn't enough. You probably want Gage McCown throwing down. Comerford, righty from Gonzaga. Pops it, foul and out of play, 1-1. 2 strikes stand between Sonoma and a 1-0 league record in 2026. One pitch. Swing and a miss. That's a sword. He went all the way around, tried to hold it up. That's 93, up and out of the zone. And now the Blues are down to their final strike. Schnitzer stares into McCown for the sign. 1-2 pitch with 2 outs in the 9th. Hit in the air to right field. Cutting over towards the line is Keys, and it drops just inside the line. Fair ball rolling into the corner. Chugging into second base with a stand-up double is Brendan Comerford, and the ball game will continue for Miles Mater.
Nice piece of hitting. Just stayed fair, loud off the bat. Tailor-made double.
Now batting, catcher number 48, Miles Mater.
Mater, right-handed hitter, doing some housekeeping in the righty's batter's box. Sporting the high socks with a bright red Indiana Hoosier leg guard on the front ankle. The pitch is up over his head. It's off a glove of McCown. It's a wild pitch. And that's an issue for Schnitzer. Is clear. It's the misses have just not been close at all.
I mean, I had 17 walks to 24 strikeouts at the College of Marin. Command was a little better there, but it's tough coming in the summer. Completely different environment, new season.
One 0 pitch. High, 2-0.
And also, it's a big adjustment velocity-wise for McCown, who's mostly been seeing guys throw in the mid-80s, maybe touching high 80s. Schnitzer's been throwing 93 this inning. It's an adjustment for both sides.
Yeah, McCown did some catching at CSUN, so we've seen the heat. 2-0 is a called strike, 2-1. (7-2). Sonoma really opened up a lead in that 7th inning. Runner at third with 2 outs in the 9th. Called strike, outside edge, 2-2. That's 90 in the bottom third quadrant of the strike zone.
Beautiful pitch.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 9th inning. Schnitzer delivers to Mater, and it's low inside, 3-2. Looking to slam the door on the Blues. Payoff pitch on the way from Sam Schnitzer. Here it is. It's bounced foul. It's rolling, and it stays foul up the first base line. Hunter Carlson was going to see if that little squibber kicked back fair. Miles Maters had himself a nice day. He bounced into a double play in the first inning and since then singled, walked, and was hit by a pitch. Thanks for sticking with us here on a Tuesday night. Stompers a strike away from starting the 2026 CCL North play, just how they ended last year. Schnitzer's pitch count climbing here in the ninth. Gets ready to deliver another payoff to Miles Mater. That one's crushed foul past Rene Regulato. Quick feet from the third base coach for the Blues.
He can still hop in the infield.
Yeah. We've officially hit the 3-hour mark here in Sonoma. 9 combined runs, 7 for the good guys. 3-2 pitch. Bounced back to Schnitzer. He gloves. He flips to first. Ball game over. Stompers win. A big 7th inning propels the Stompers to a 7-2 CCL opening day victory over the Blues. Devin Laginto, your winning pitcher. Your losing pitcher is Carson Boyer in a controversial 7th inning. The Stompers really took advantage, Nate.
Yeah, for those needing refreshing, there's a double play turned where Sebastiani, the runner over at first, was clearly there in time. They flipped the call. Dean Trainer was out arguing with the refs for a solid 5 minutes. Ended up being a 10-minute break, and after that, the Stompers hung 6 runs in that inning on the Blues. Ended on a Bryson Ayala 2-run shot that was he looked at for a good few seconds. But that's sometimes how it is. These two teams have history. They're going to be playing each other 3 more times throughout the season, including tomorrow night. Why not make some tension between 2 of the best teams inside the CCL North? Add some fun, some early season rivalry, just a little bit more juice for this regular season.
I don't know if the coaching staff holds that same mentality. I think they just want to play clean baseball and get out of there. And for the most part, they did. Stompers 7 runs, 8 hits, and 2 errors. They top 2 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors. Sean McBroom is 1-0, or beg your pardon, that's not Sean McBroom's win. Sean McBroom, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, it was earned. Didn't walk anybody. He hit a batter and struck out 2. He gave way to Vince Van Holy, Devin Laginto, the winning pitcher, and Sam Schnitzer pitched the 9th. The loser is Carson Boyer, 2/3 of an inning, and thought he was out of it with what could have been that
feel for him.
Double play. That's going to wrap up our coverage on a Tuesday night. The CCL campaign starts with fireworks, but more importantly, it starts with a win. We're back on the air tomorrow, the second of 2 between the Stompers and Blues. 5:45 pregame show, 6:05 first pitch, right back here on the broadcast network. Stompers are 1-0 in league play. For Lucas Sebastiani running the stats, my broadcast partner Nate Martin, I'm Kieran Costa saying so long from Sonoma.